So we start with this guy telling us a story about this aura farming kung fu fighting panda that used to go around and aura farm throughout the entire realm. So basically everybody respected him, including some of the best kung fu fighters in the entire realm, the Furious Five. Only God knows what type of crack this nigga was smoking before he made that statement. Y'all really need to start investing these niggas' qualifications, because in all 3 movies where I've seen these Furious Five, the only thing I've seen these niggas do is get hold every single time. So please tell me, how can they be the best? Are they the best of the worst? So the movie is being told to us by this fat panda called Po. But actually, on second thought, I don't think it's fair to be calling a panda fat. That's actually the ideal BMI for an animal of that variety. Like, any panda that is skinnier than this is malnourished though. So Po is a huge fan of the Furious Five. He's the equivalent of a modern day Arsenal fan. Yeah, I'm going to start calling these guys the Furious Frauds. You'll see why during this movie. So Po goes downstairs, where he is greeted by this bird that is claiming to be his father. And Po, it is really his heart's desire to go and learn kung fu, but his father could not give a shit. He wants Po to be cooking Indomie for the rest of his life. So we cut to the headquarters of the Furious Frauds, and we see this guy, basically their mentor, this rat called Master Shifu. So anyhow, this tortoise called Master Shifu is calling him, and basically Master Shifu is like the daddy of kung fu in this area. And he warns Master Shifu that he has had a vision that this menace called Tai Lung has escaped. And Shifu is legitimately freaking out for good reason. So he sends this dog to go and warn the guys that are holding him in prison that they should tighten their security and all. But that was a big mistake. So anyhow, Master Oogway decides that it's time for them to unleash their secret weapon, the Dragon Warrior. So basically, the Dragon Warrior is like a person that once given this weird, ominous dragon scroll, they will gain limitless power into the, I guess, knowledge of Kung Fu. They didn't really explain it well like that, but that's what I understood. So they make an announcement that Master Oogway is going to be choosing the Dragon Warrior, and everybody is hyped. So Po wants to go. However, his father wants him to go there to sell Indomie. But because the Indomie cart is too heavy and Po will never get there in time, he decides to ditch it and go there himself. But as soon as he comes, they close the doors, and basically the ceremony starts, and they hype up the Furious Frauds, try to make them look anything less than a fraud. But after everything, Master Oogway is finally ready to pick his Dragon Warrior. And in a fantastic turn of events, Po happens to be the one that he ends up picking. And I have to say, in all honesty, if it's anyone but the Furious Frauds, then there's still hope for this valley. However, Master Shifu does not want to accept this, and he tries to make Po quit. Like, bro, stop being a hater. Stop. Y'all are frauds. Like, there's no way you actually thought it would be any of these niggas. Like, what the? So anyhow, we get to the messenger goose, who arrives at Chinese Alcatraz, basically where they're holding the Wars of the Wars. Basically where they're holding Tai Lung. And he goes to deliver the message, but these guys, they are very overconfident in their abilities, and they pat him on the back, which caused a feather from his body to fall off and straight into the hands of Tai Lung. Now, I don't know what Tai Lung did. Perhaps he tried to kill the queen or tried to murk the president for them to design an entire prison for the sole purpose of restraining this guy. I really don't know. But one thing I'm sure about is this guy cannot be normal. So we cut back to the valley, where we see Master Oogway making fun of Po for being fat. Classic fraud activity. And then he comes and shows us some more classic fraud activity. These Furious Frauds pretending to actually train. I don't know what they're training for. Rapture or something, because it cannot be a fight. Now look. Alright, I can get around maybe Shifu shaming this guy for his lack of talent. But y'all niggas, the Furious Frauds, nah. Y'all better start learning yourself some humility. You're moving a bit like Arsenal fans right now. Y'all gonna have to back that shit up. And it's time to back that shit up, because Tai Lung has escaped. And he's headed straight for the valley. So after another day of Po getting hold around, we get a background on Tai Lung. So it turns out that Tai Lung was actually Master Shifu's an adopted child. So Master Shifu actually trained Tai Lung in the way of Kung Fu for the sole purpose of becoming the Dragon Warrior. But then Master Oogway decided, for some fucked up, useless reason, that he was not going to give him the title. Say he saw darkness in his heart or something, like, what? And then get this, everybody made Tai Lung the villain after he crashed out. Wait, let me get this straight. So basically, since this guy was 1 year old in animal years, y'all have been training him to be a kung fu person. Like, you didn't even let him choose what he wanted to do in life. Or y'all decided to decide his dreams and aspirations for him. And then after training him all his life, you now told him that everything he worked for was basically useless. And you are surprised when he crashes out. Yeah, something is wrong with these people. I don't think Tai Lung is the villain in this movie. But anyhow, after word reaches the valley that Tai Lung has escaped, Master Shifu goes to tell Master Oogway. And I know I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it once again. What the hell did Tai Lung do? Like, brother must be another level of menace to have mastered. Like, literally 5 seconds after they told Master Oogway this nigga was out of prison, this guy hopped and went to heaven. Bro didn't even wait until he died. He just transferred straight to the next life. Like nah, I ain't dealing with that, bro. But anyhow, Tai Lung comes back and tells Po that he's going to have to face off with Tai Lung as he is the Dragon Warrior. But Po does not want to have anything to do with that. So the Furious Frauds decide to go and try to stop Tai Lung. And it is during this time that Shifu decides to finally train Po. But he also realizes that the only way to make this nigga lock in is by using food. And that is exactly what he does. And by the end of this training montage, Po is ready to face Tai Lung. We then call back to the Furious Frauds. And y'all are soon going to see why I call them that. Because they square up with Tai Lung. And the first thing this guy does is aura farm. Like, he has assessed the power levels of all of these frauds. And he has decided that they're not even worth his time. Then Tiger squares up and he immediately gives her the Chris Breezy special. That kick sent her right back to the kitchen. And the crazy part is, out of all of the Furious Five, she's been the one that's been talking shit of Po the most. Needless to say, the rest of them got promptly put in their place. Take note, all of them have received the exact same training from Shifu, yet they got squad wiped. 5v1, mind you. Bro really sent them back to the valley looking like this. So when Shifu sees that, he decides it's time to formally appoint Po as a Dragon Warrior by giving him the Dragon Scroll. It's apparently this object of veneration that's supposed to give him incredible superpowers. However, it's just blank, so I guess Oogway was just rage baiting this entire time. So Shifu decides to take on Tai Lung by himself and sends everybody away in a mandatory evacuation. Born like the Furious Frauds, Po ain't no pussy. Then we cut back to Master Shifu, and I have to say, in all honesty, this has to be one of the most insane pull-ups in animation history. Then they proceed to squabble, and we also see that when Tai Lung was rejected as Dragon Warrior, Master Oogway, the person who filled his mind with such dreams, abandoned him. Yeah, once again, I'm just gonna say, this guy was not the real villain. But basically, Tai Lung beats the shit out of Shifu, and Po pulls up in time to save Shifu's life. And him and Tai Lung square up. But somehow Po is beating him using the power of obesity. However, after some cartoonia fighting, Tai Lung hits him with the mad heel kick straight to the face. Bro's gonna be looking like this. He then follows up with whatever the hell this is, and Po's fat ass is defeated. Just for Tai Lung to realize that there's nothing in the scroll, so he crashes out. I don't know, it'd be like say Po just woke up and decided to learn how to fight. Easily defeats Tai Lung like he wasn't struggling a couple of seconds ago. Then he uses this forbidden technique to send Bro to the afterlife. So there you have it. The Furious Frauds got outdone by one obese panda. I don't know why we give these niggas any credit, man.